Welcome, everybody, to Stay Curious. I'm your host, Mark Marquez. So glad you joined us today for a look at what's up in the sky a little bit. We've got an astronaut birthday. We're going to talk a little bit about a new movie coming out that might pique your interest, and just a little bit of everything today. Build kind of a backyard stargazer that we do frequently. We are a STEM education center, STEAM or STEM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And that's part of what our program's all about. And to engage our youth, we have in our studio today Seth Wright. He's with Space Coast High School in Port St. John. And he's sitting beside my buddy Marty Winkle, looking at the Streamlabs situation at Marty's Engineering there, and we hope that Seth can help us down the line and get some school credit as a student volunteer here. So thank you for being here, Seth. Marty, as always, we've done about 1,370 episodes in 5 years, born out of the pandemic, and occasionally we have. I want to go back to doing stargazing. News around the solar system. There is not an alien spaceship that is headed our way, but I can't change what you believe, but don't let the facts get in the way of your beliefs, by the way. And a couple other cool things to talk about today, but I'm kind of out of pocket, in and out today. Today we've got an outreach that we're going to participate in, have some volunteers that are going to be at the National Night Out, which is across the country this Tuesday evening. You might have one going on in your area where the law enforcement and fire department make themselves present at a park, this being our Titus Landing mini strip mall. This beautiful here in downtown Titusville, or close to south of downtown. So hope that you are going to partake on it. Marty, I hope I can get down there and get a free hot dog when the show's over here at 5:30. But so we're participating in things like this, and it's important that we let you know our nonprofit is very active in the community. We feel strongly nonprofits need to help other nonprofits, and so we do. Also, we enjoy having a sponsor of every Stay Curious episode, and today's sponsor is Chris Cali. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to put the Cali slide up, doggone it, with CaliSpaceArt.com. Okay, is how you can get a hold of Chris. I made a slide for him with his address and didn't load it up. But there's Chris, whose father was also an artist. Chris has been very important to our Shuttle Fest program, helping be one of the architects to sponsor that. His father, Paul Cali, did this sketch of the Gemini 7 astronauts heading out to the pad with their soft suits, because they were going to be in space 14 days, sitting beside each other like in the front seat of the car. That Gemini spacecraft orbited the Earth with them in it. By the way, that is Gus Grissom's blue flight suit that he wore after his Gemini 3 flight with rookie John Young. But there's a little wall plaque there about Gemini 7. Two great friends, Frank Borman and Jim Lovell. We just lost Jim about 3 months ago, I guess. And Lovell died last year, and both lived well into their mid-90s. So a cool little thing there that I saw and caught my eye when I first came here at the museum, and then I found out that our sponsor today, right here, Chris Cali, his dad did that sketch. And so he's a second-generation artist. This is the type of work that Chris does. Chris Cali, CaliSpaceArt.com is his website, and it's going to be improving over time. This is a special thing he did for Marty by putting all of the Apollo patches and the Grumman patch. They built the lunar module, and this is a special print that Marty, he did for you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chris told me that that's the only one in existence with the Grumman logo.
One of a kind, just like you, Marty. So that's a great thing. We have it up there, in fact, up on the wall. up there. So, though that looks like a photograph of Gene Cernan on the surface of the moon to some of you, that is a painting by Chris Calley. He loves doing these montages. Thought since we're going to talk a little bit about the moon being up in your sky tonight, that we'd use the last landing on the moon with Gene Cernan in the center there, the montage of everything that happened. And Chris is a University of Michigan graduate. I'm sorry he couldn't get a better education as I went to The Ohio State University, but he learned his art very well, and this is his tribute to the last man on the moon, the last footprint on the moon by Gene Cernan. So very, very talented artist is our sponsor and friend, Chris Calley. Thank you for all that you do out in the community to talk up the American Space Museum. Thank you for your financial support, and thank you for helping engineer and architect the Shuttle Fest framework to where we have got a really good model for a fundraiser and a lot of fun. And Shuttle Fest 5 will be June 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Cocoa Beach Hilton, though the Friday night event, the 19th, will be here at the museum. And we'll be unleashing all of that information for you to get set up for it as we're 8 months away. So thank you, Chris Calley, our sponsor today on Stay Curious. And I think I forgot to rack up something else that I was going to put up. I don't see it on my slides, so we'll just breeze by that. I did have an artifact, well, I had to load up a vehicle for the event here we're going to do in about an hour and a half. So forgot a couple things, but I didn't forget that our 40th American Space Museum charity memorabilia auction will be Saturday, October 25th. You may preview the auction now, as Chuck Jeffrey, our auctioneer, has loaded up over 300 items like these that you see are up for your bid right now, and the final gavel will fall on October 25th at noon and go until about 5 o'clock when all of the lots are sold. So own a piece of space history. What are we looking at here, Marty, that is up for grabs there? There's a big group of space tools there, some slide rules, a circular slide rule. You don't see much of that. Here you've got signature. I see John McBride's signature up there at the top, Bob Crippen, a couple others on a launch picture. Got coins. Some of you collect things like passes to watch the rocket launches, and there's a whole collection of passes there in the upper right and more there in the center. And if you don't have a encounter with Tiber book autographed by Buzz Aldrin, what's wrong with you? I have one. That's some low-hanging fruit to own that for $150, $200. A Moonwalker Buzz Aldrin signed that, and author John Barnes, his fictional book there, that Buzz had a part in this story. And then you've got an odd item there. It's not a Christmas ornament. Marty, what does that say there? What looks like a Christmas ornament. Can you see what that says? I didn't print that out. We can reprise that. But these are the type of things. It's some piece or part of a spacecraft that was probably flown. So our next auction, October 25th, Saturday. Check it out now. Go to our website, hit auctions up there, follow the links, and you'll be looking at this page here and others with some fabulous things to give away. Not give away, but to sell you to support our museum. And this is the 40th auction in 10 years. So we've averaged 4 a year. And this is good cash flow for our nonprofit U.S. Space Walk of Fame Foundation, doing business as the American Space Museum. And we just get a little piece of the pie, no less than 20% on each auction item. That's the 20% added charity fee. But so if you buy something for $100, you'll pay $120 plus shipping. But it's well worth it to support our museum and own something of space history. Marty, the moon is 15 days old today. So to talk like an amateur astronomer, where's that going to be in the night sky at 15 days old?
I think straight overhead. Well, that's
straight
a,
overhead,
but
and
Mark, I saw it this morning, and I think it was this morning, and it was the brightest moon I've seen in a long time. Why was that? Just a
really
clear sky?
the brightest moon he saw in a long time. And there's a reason for that, okay? Because it is appreciably brighter because it's appreciably closer to Earth right now. This is what we call the super full moon. Super being it is closest to Earth in its orbit at full moon. Now, it can be a super first quarter moon or a super last quarter moon or a super crescent moon that the moon is closest to Earth in its orbit at that time. But let me look and see how close it is right now. I think it's about 235,000 miles away. But I'm going to look at my app for that here and get off a bunch of other stuff here. But yes, the moon is, when we say super full moon, its orbit is elliptical, and sometimes it's as far away as 270,000, sometimes it's about 230,000, but it's about an average of 240,000 miles. Its distance is, it's giving me kilometers. So I can't convert that in my head right away. 364,000 kilometers away. Take that times 0.06, and you're going to get about 200 and a little under 230,000 miles away. It's going to rise at 7:20 p.m. tonight. A little bit wait about 50 minutes later than it did last night, and it's going to look big and bright and full to many of you, but it was full yesterday, as it's actually almost 16 days old here, as you see, getting to the gibbous phase. Yes, Marty?
223,000.
223,000. So that's a close super full moon. If it's closer, it's going to be brighter, all right, and it's going to be bigger. But that's an illusion that is hard to see with the naked eye. A lot of people were taking pictures last night of the full moon. This is over the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. Looks like they had some cloud cover there for that, the tip of the Washington Monument there. But the difference in size between a full moon and a super full moon is shown here, all right? Hardly detectable to the eye, but that closeness does make it a lot brighter, okay, Marty? And though it's a difference sort of between a 10-inch pizza and a 10.5-inch pizza. 10.5-inch pizza being your super full moon. So that's what we had last night. Amateur astronomers never coined that phrase until about 20 years ago. And amateur astronomers didn't coin that. Weathermen did. And anything to get you looking up, I say I'm all for. So go out and check out the moon. Of course, it'll be good and dark when it rises tonight. And you will catch yourself some moonshine, the kind that you can't get too much of. Now, Native Americans, of course, are very influential in America's folklore of the sky as well as the full moon. And so you've got the full moon there with some artwork is given a name, okay? And we have the full moon of September on this calendar of full moons is called the harvest moon, okay? And the full moon of October is called the hunter moon, and the full moon of November, the beaver moon. And then just the cold moon for December, all right? But on another full moons of 2025, they call the September full moon not the harvest moon. Now, let me go back here. Not the harvest moon like this one does. It calls it the corn moon because corn's being harvested. Harvest moon is on October. Hunter's moon is in November, or the beaver moon. It's called hunter's moon a lot. Okay, don't know why that's gotten changed so much. The beaver moon is also very common because beavers are building dams, habitats to live in through the winter. So they're very active and can be seen in water. Everyone agrees that December moon is the cold moon. All right, and so on and so on. So I like thinking of October as the harvest moon. and November as the hunter's moon. But depending on whether it's the Farmer's Almanac or another almanac or just somebody's Native American tribute of full moons, this is what you're going to get. So enjoy that and enjoy a beautiful evening out. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this one. Let me do something here. This birthday today is a good one, but I didn't bring the birthday information over here, so let's read it off of my post on Facebook today, as this is the 56th birthday to this lady, Karen Nyberg, who was born in Parkers Prairie, Minnesota, but she considers Vining, Minnesota to be her hometown. She's married to NASA astronaut Doug Hurley, who flew the first SpaceX Crew Dragon in May 2020, the Demo 2 it was called. She has a home page and she's quite talented. She's also the featured astronaut on a Capital One bank commercial, where this is a group of people interviewing these three people, the Capital One guys on the left. They'll want to interview him, not Derek Jeter, Marty, New York Yankee Hall of Fame outfielder, and he also played first base. Shortstop. He was shortstop. Thank you, Marty. Shortstop. Great player. And that's Karen Nyberg there. And nobody wants to ask them a question. They're asking the Capital One guy, and Derek Jeter says to her, and she goes to him, aren't you in the Hall of Fame? And he says, didn't you live in space? Which she did. So a silly bank commercial there, but I didn't recognize Karen right away. I thought that was kind of cool. An avid quilter. She's the first person to sew some quilt patches in orbit. And there she is. She made a stuffed dinosaur she created out of space station scraps. 180 days in space, including her time on Expedition 36 and 37 in 2013. She took her love for quilting, and this is a press conference that she was at, this is probably almost 2 years ago now, showing off some of her quilt patterns with Sally Ride and Valentina Tereshkova, first American woman in space, and of course Valentina 20 years earlier was the first Russian woman in space. So very good artist. I like quilting a lot. These are photographs that she took from space that become quilt patterns that you can buy at the Robert Kaufman Fabrics, which is a real big warehouse of fabrics that a lot of people know about. So that's huge for her to be selling her patterns that she took photographs in space. And Marty, you and our high school student in here, Seth, you can see the beautiful patterns and the art. If you've got well, Marty's not seeing the art in that. He's seeing geography probably. But it is a very artistic world we live in, and you can get all kinds of patterns and colors out of that. So happy birthday to Karen Nyberg. Here's her, there she is on the Robert Kaufman page there. So tremendous astronaut, and we enjoy astronauts that still stay active doing things that influenced them while they were in space, as Karen Nyberg celebrates her 56th birthday today. Well, we had Terry White on here yesterday. If you missed him, we just kind of did a question and answer, and the internet is full of stuff that you must be a skeptical inquirer, okay? No, there is not an alien spaceship going through our solar system. It is, in fact, a rocky, rather large rocky piece of debris that came from another solar system. We know that because of the direction of travel it came from, and that it's going so fast, 200,000 miles an hour, just ripping through our solar system. And it just went past Mars, and they took a photo of this comet from Mars. I'll show you here in a second. But there's it has the characteristics of a comet, because it is emitting some of its debris and gas. But this is the typical type of stuff on artificial intelligence. I think this is fear mongering on Facebook and scaring the public with a lack of facts. And you'll read a story underneath this. 20 scientists say this is an alien spacecraft. This is being controlled by alien technology. All right. Yet they misspelled Jupiter on the bottom right on the panel. Interstellar up at the top. All right. This is AI generated stuff. This is not photographs. This is not even good artwork of this object. This is being broadcast as a photo taken of the comet from Mars, all right? And what it is a long exposure, like a minute or two, of some bright object from the surface of Mars taken by Perseverance, the rover on Mars. There's 2 rovers on Mars. Curiosity's been there 12 years, Perseverance about 4. And this is a streak, like leaving your camera shutter open and letting the stars trail on it like a finger painting. Though the internet is full of that, it's photographed this interstellar intruder and it's shaped like a tic tac or it's shaped like a rectangle. No, it's not. This is a long exposure streak of a bright object. Now, to further add, Marty, to some of the conspiracy theories that people love to vent, NASA cannot comment on this. Why? Because the government's shut down. All right. So that's just fueling more of that this object is alien technology. It's not. It has some very unique characteristics that comets in our solar system doesn't have. And for good reason. It's about the size of the island of Manhattan, something like 6 miles across or long, probably 3 miles wide. The other 2 interstellar objects that we have detected in the past couple years, they were very small. Think 300 yards. Think less than a quarter mile wide. But yet they were going very fast, and you can trace where they came from, and they came from somewhere far, far away, and not part of our solar system. So this is what astronomers see this comet called 3I/Atlas. Atlas is the array of telescopes that discovered it. They're actually seeking objects, this array of telescopes that could hit the Earth, and they want an early warning system of it. It's got a little tail and a coma, so the gases is getting closer to the sun or heating up, going from, if it was in space for 1 billion years, maybe it's frozen at 300 below zero, okay, and or more, and now it's heating up to 200 below zero, and that would make some stuff outgas. The camera's tracking this. This is a spectrograph being taken of the stars around it to give us more data of this object. And this is the path that it's taking. It just went past Mars. There's Atlas at the top there. It's going past Mars. All right. Now see the line where Earth is. So it is going behind the sun. Okay. The sun's orbit is pulling it just a little bit. I mean, sun's gravity is pulling it just a little bit. But we're not going to see it for a few weeks because it's going to be in the glare of the sun in the daytime. And then as it gets further out to Jupiter, it already passed Jupiter once coming in the orbit, but it's actually going to be close to the planet Jupiter. Close, this might be 300 million miles or 30 million miles. So Jupiter's gravity might pull it a little bit and do something to it. So as you see, it is whizzing through our solar system. Technology is allowing us now to see objects that have been there all along, intruders from another solar system. So this is a new chapter of planetary astronomy as we see objects from other solar systems enter our domain here. So, well, I'll talk a little bit more about the night sky here in just a second, but those of you that are fans of science fiction, we have a new book out. a new movie from a book by Andy Weir called Project Hail Mary. Now, I read this book, okay? And this book is, I can't, this is going to be an interesting movie for me to see how they make this, by the author of yours and my favorite movie, The Martian. There, don't mind The Martian at all, okay? The handsome actor there that played that, who's that actor? Who's, Connie, help me out there if you're watching there. When her, not, not Brad Pitt, it's Damon. Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Okay, there we go. Matt Damon. Like this movie, it had quite a lot of facts in it, but then it had a lot of fiction in it too. But very engaging, saving a man that's stranded on Mars. Well, very much Hail Mary is saving a man who's stranded on a spacecraft, a spaceship that traveled 11 light years to another inhabited solar system, and that solar system's star is dying, and this spaceship encounters another spaceship with an alien on it named Rocky. All right, and that's all I'm going to tell you, but it's going to be in the movie theaters March 20th next year, so I'll be there to watch it, and so we will. Project Hail Mary. Go check that book out, the library, or buy it, or books on tape or something. I found it pretty entertaining, and like Andy Weir's, he wrote that book as a sequel, not a sequel, but follow-up to The Martian, based on a lot of facts. And one of Andy Weir's facts that he had in there was that Matt Damon, as a astronaut, Mark Watney, I remember the name of that fictional character astronaut in there, he lived on potatoes for like over a year. Okay, so there you go. Bring him home there, and he ate potatoes like crazy. Now, the Martian soil, by the way, is too acidic to grow potatoes, even with all that fertilizer that they used, if you saw the movie. So yeah, take you out back under the stars a little bit. You can get a free this is the time where the moon is going to be rising. You're going to notice it because it just went from full moon yesterday. A day after full, it's rising about 50 minutes later than it did the day before. So that's close to 8 o'clock. Then it's going to rise 50 minutes later on Wednesday than Tuesday. So that's going to be about 8:50, something like that. So the moon keeps moving like that every day. It moves its own diameter every hour, which is a half a degree. All right, but go out and look at it, but it's going to be leaving the evening sky, which is going to be leaving the early evening dark. And our October skies has the Milky Way directly overhead. Now, I know you think the Milky Way is a summertime thing, but no, it's actually best in October, all right, September and October, because it's directly overhead. And it's now moving as the Earth spins and the sky's moving overhead. It's moving to the west, all right, and these autumn constellations are coming up, like the Pegasus the horse, and Andromeda, the beautiful maiden, and her mother, Cassiopeia the queen, and her father, Cephas the king. They're all up there right now, all to be seen as the summer stars are setting. But the Milky Way is still pretty spectacular to see, and it'll be really good this weekend when the moon is going to rise about around 11 o'clock at night. So you can have some dark skies this weekend if you camp out, and you'll have a great time to see the Milky Way this weekend. I've got my planisphere here, or star chart, the night sky. The side of it is the date, is the hour, I mean. So I'm going to go at 9 o'clock at night on October. You move the wheel over to the October date here, set it up. That's how the sky is going to look. You got to use some imagination. You got to lay down and look at it in the right direction. and then you'll start seeing the dots of the constellations. And I find it very rewarding to learn the dots of the constellations. And though they don't match what they're supposed to be very much, this is still the ancients using this as entertainment, and these stories being passed down to us. So hope you get outside and get yourself a little bit of starshine along with the moonshine this weekend. And the way to read your star maps is with a red flashlight. Okay, red is the color to use outside, like on my map here. Why? Because it doesn't make your eyeballs contract after they dilate. The whole idea is to get as much starlight as you can in your eyes, so the longer you stay outside in the dark, your eye pupils open up and allow more light in. Just like when you turn the light off in your bedroom, you don't see anything in the room, and just before you doze off, 4 or 5 minutes later, your eyes have opened up, the pupils, and you see everything everywhere. So this is why you use a red light. It does not bother that. So just another little side thing. You can paint a flashlight red, use red cellophane, or invest in one like I do at an astronomy source out there. Just Google them in there. So, and we thank Chris Callie again for being our sponsor. This is another beautiful piece of work that Chris did. Since we're looking at the moon in the night sky, let's stand on the moon and look back at the earth. Okay. As we end our program today, and thank RG Jubilee for watching. Rosalie, thank you so much for your comments. Dave Stange, Mitch Rothman's up there in Colorado. Dave Stange's up in Michigan. Tom Usiak's in Pennsylvania. Doug Force is in California. Tom Celentano in Connecticut. Carlton Bailey's here in Florida. Jim McDade is over in Huntsville, Alabama. Steve Jokem's up in Illinois, Fox Lake, up there in beautiful Lake Michigan. Dean Babcock's up in the Chicago area, mostly parked. Not sure where he or she's parked at. Gary Gerald's on a farm in Georgia. Leanne Summick, thank you for watching again. I hope that you've enjoyed our program and come back. And Cliff Watson is in Pomona, Australia. Thank you for watching, Cliffy, and hope that your radiation treatments are helping as we have you in our heart, brother. Yes, Marty.
And also Nick Deacon in the UK is watching.
All right, Nick, thank you so much, you all here. So thank you for watching. Stay curious. We're getting some guests lined up, and hopefully have Carlton Bailey here on Thursday to just maybe sit here and look pretty, if nothing else. But no, Carlton, of course, the rocket photographer, over 700 launches. We want him to come in and share what some of his past work as well as what he's up to. So, all right. Thank you all for watching today. Thank you, Marty. Anything else to clean up over there? Thank you, Seth Wright from Space Coast High School. What's the mascot over there, Seth? Vipers. Oh, the Vipers. Okay. They'll put a sting on the Mustangs there at Merritt Island there. So, well, thank you, young man, for being in our studio today, and hope that you can help us a little bit there as extra credit at your school. So, thank you all for watching. Hope that you can come to our museum. I'm Mark Marquette saying, I can't wait to see you to bridge the space between us. Thank you.